Did you hit that one down there first?
Mm-hmm. All right, quit crunching. Hello, everyone. It's Danny and Wanda from Deep South Homestead. And Danny's crunching over here. He's eating popcorn.
I just got out of the tub, so I had to have something to eat.
And he did eat supper, but that was a while back.
That was a while ago, though.
All right, I'm getting it there, y'all. Okay, where's my pop out? Oh, there it popped up.
It's coming. Just give it some time.
Slow. Okay. Got a lot of people in. Y'all hit that thumbs up. Been a little
Yeah, when
busy
you
this
come
week.
in, hit the thumbs up because that puts us in a good algorithm.
Yeah, so I see a lot of our people have showed up. I
Oh, man.
took a BC because I was taking a headache and it went down the wrong way just before we started, so I'm sounding a little scratchy right now. Plus, I've been eating dust. Not really.
Yes, you have. Just be honest with it. If you go anywhere on this property, the dust is like that deep, and it's just powder. There is no moisture nowhere.
Yeah, and it keeps my eyes wet and watery and throat scratchy, and I mean, we have no.
There's no moisture
Yeah,
nowhere.
so
Me and Dexter was pulling up steel fence posts today with a tractor, and they were less than a foot in the ground, and it was picking the back wheels of the tractor up off the ground, trying to pull them up with the front end loader.
yeah. Well, now we need to tell them Cynthia and Dexter came Tuesday.
Yeah.
We're here Tuesday, and Cynthia and I are doing a conversation of friends for Crazy Days. And we were probably 10 minutes into it when this happened. And Danny and Dexter come over there, and so we had to interrupt our conversation and head to the hospital.
Yeah.
And so Cynthia said that they would come back today, and we spent all day with Cynthia and Dexter.
Oh, it was a great day, guys.
We had a lot of fun
day.
and fellowship, and we took them over to McDaniel's, and what else do we do?
Me and Dexter, we put the pole on the cane mill today.
Yes, poles on the cane mill. Y'all know what that means?
We took up all the trellising we had over by the cabin for the transgender beans. We got all that up.
Yeah.
I took the tractor and went through. I think Dexter kind of got a kick out of it because I told him, I said, this is how Deep South weeds a garden. I turned the bucket up on my tractor on an angle and went all the way down through that garden with my bucket like that and took all the grass, very little dirt, just all the grass and grass seeds. I took it all out the other end and pushed it down to where the cows were at down there. I told him, I said, that's how we weed at Deep South Homestead.
Well, I got absolutely no video footage of anything, just saying. Cynthia and I did record our conversation, but other than that, I didn't get any pictures or anything.
Tracy said, I saw you red and pink in the sky tonight.
Oh, wow.
I told y'all it was coming.
It's going to be cane syrup time. And so let me ask you guys something. Danny's throwing this idea out there. He wants to take our router outside and hook it up and live stream from the beginning of the cooking process.
Yeah, all the way through
all day.
It may take 8 to 10 hours to do it. I don't know.
So who is up for 8 to 10 hours of Danny cooking cane syrup? A live stream all day long. I don't know.
Yeah.
We're not sure if that's even going to work, but we may try it. So would you all be interested in seeing exactly the process? Nothing cut, just live stream all day.
Yeah.
You get to see what he does. I mean,
it'd be the uncut version of cooking cane syrup at Deep South Homestead. It'd be an all-day event.
Yeah. And so we're like, would people be interested in popping in and out all day?
Everybody's saying yes, yes, yes. I would watch.
If you have something to do, at least keep it running or something. Give us some, It's easier to do it that way than it is invite 250,000 people to our house and watch it live.
Yeah, I mean, you would see firsthand all the stuff I have to go through on a day just to cook cane syrup.
Yeah, on a video you get to see little snippets because you condense it down into something. But to be able to see it live all day long, I didn't know if people would be interested in that.
I mean, it looks like everybody's in on it.
So we may do that.
We'll have to check and see if we can make the router work outside, and if we can, then we can set up the cameras and everything, and we can just let it run all day long with us. We'll have to plug the computers up and all that so that everything works like it's supposed to work out there.
Yeah, we may just have to play around with it one day in the near future and do a test live stream outside and see how it works. And then if we can, all day long. And y'all, he may be talking, he may not be talking, he may be stirring. You just get whatever. It would be literally how he does syrup.
Yeah.
And we may have somebody here. Did Dexter say he would like to come back?
Yeah, Dexter said he would love to come and help. He said, because I know absolutely nothing about doing it. He said, I would love to come.
And we've had others say they would like to come. So, no, just send a sample. Yeah, you're getting out all the work, right?
Yeah.
I think that was Texas McKenzie.
Yeah.
We actually sent Dexter and Cynthia some home today. So they are Farm 78. And
I don't know if there's any cane on Etsy yet.
No, somebody ain't got it on there yet.
So it was supposed to be on there today.
Today is not over with.
But being Monday is Columbus Day, and the mail probably won't run.
Yeah. Did you get any cut?
No, I did not cut any because I didn't want it sitting around until Tuesday.
I'd forgotten about that. I'm glad you thought of it. Well, the problem is I don't want to put it up till I know he can get some cut, and I know the day we're shipping because it has to sit overnight and kind of cure a little, and then I package. So I had told him to cut today and I would package tomorrow and it would go in the mail Monday. But since you're right, you'll cut tomorrow, I'll package Monday.
I think Monday's Columbus Day, and if it is, the mail's not going to run. I could be wrong about that if I remember my days correct, though.
We're going to have some the syrup. No, we don't sell the syrup on Etsy. It's mainly just personal use, or we may get, like today I give Cynthia a bottle. But we tried that one year, I think, and I sold a little bit. But I am so worried about sending it in those glass jars, and it's just not feasible to do that. Let's see.
I have an evaporator pan, but we're not going to be using it because of the giant furnace, and I have to cook like 100 gallons of syrup to use it. So we're probably just going to be using the smaller version where we cook like 4 to 5 gallons of syrup at a time. That's probably how we're going to do it.
So somebody's asking how big are the stalks?
The stalks are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches in diameter.
And
they're about 10, 12 feet tall.
Mrs. Laura said she just got her carrot book. I think you need to name your books the Encyclopedia King. I look tired. Oh yes, I am tired. Very tired.
Do we shadow ban people on our channel? I don't know what that means, but
I don't purposely shadow ban anybody, so I don't know what you're asking.
I don't know what that means, but
I've heard people saying something about people say we get shadow banned, and I don't know about that. They say YouTube shadow bans us, and I don't know about. I mean, they say we don't get the views we should get because of whatever, and I'm like, I don't know. I just know that when we put up a video, we get X amount of views, and it's like all of a sudden people just stop watching.
Yeah, we get to a certain point, and it just cuts it off.
It's like nobody watches anymore, and I'm like, okay, is that all it? And then you watch other people, and theirs just steadily climb in the algorithm and keep going, but ours gets like to a certain point, and then it's like a dozen here and a dozen there. It's really weird. So I don't know if that's what you're asking, shadow ban, but I don't know. We don't shadow ban anybody.
Have you heard from Ice Age Farmer? He hasn't made a video in months. He's actually over on he is making videos.
Yeah, just not on YouTube.
Not on YouTube. My mind went just as blank.
It's not Rumble.
No.
What's the other one? Where is Ice Age Farmer? Somebody knows.
Lord have mercy. Um,
No channel owners can not shadow banned. I didn't think so. Grizz had his own accident the last week or two. I was watching that. Grizz 270. He was on a tractor and the log come rolling and I just knew it was going to hit him.
oh yeah, we was watching
landed
that.
on his tractor.
Landed right on the hood part in front of the steering wheel.
And I love it. He just said, and it made another dent.
Yep.
Which meant it something like similar happened.
Telegram.
Yeah, Telegram. He's on Ice Age Farmer's on Telegram.
Yeah.
Does anybody know how Prepstetter Bob is doing? We have not heard from him in a couple of years, so not sure. I was thinking about him the other day. Something. Lots of times people that would have visited runs through my mind, and so I'm like.
They want to know, can you get sugarcane from seeds? Our sugarcane does not come from seeds. Our sugarcane does not even make seeds. Now, sorghum cane makes seeds, but not sugarcane. Now, if you lived in a tropical region, it's possible that it may grow long enough to make seeds, but ours are grown from cuttings from the sugarcane.
Okay, somebody's asking, how big is our high tunnel shade cloth? We had it custom.
I had my shade cloth for my high tunnel custom made. I actually threw a rope over the high tunnel and brought it down to where I wanted it on the other side and brought it down to where I wanted it on this side, and I pulled it back over and measured it. Don't remember what the measurements was, but I knew what the length should be, but the width was custom done, and I sent that to Grower Solutions and they custom built it for us.
Yeah. And talking about Grower Solution,
we've got
a nice thing coming up in November. They've got a Black Friday sale coming up. And so we're not going to give the details away right now, but if you're thinking of getting a high tunnel, kind of wait till the 1st of November, after November 5th, I think is when it starts.
Yeah.
So there'll be some bonuses for people that order a high tunnel or greenhouse kit.
Happy anniversary, Kurt.
On November the 5th through the December the 7th, I think. But we are going to be able to, should I say what we're doing? I guess it doesn't matter.
I don't guess it matters. They done told us what's going to happen.
We're going to be giving away a 16 by 24 Quonset greenhouse. It's going to be the frame and the film that goes over. It will not include the roll-up doors or the end walls.
No end walls or roll-up doors, but everything
else with it
comes
and
with
it's
it.
a 16 by 24, which is a really good size greenhouse. And they're going to leave it up to us how we give it away. So Danny and I got to think about that one a little bit. And so we shall see.
Yeah. So we're hoping that we're able to bless somebody. Now, the key thing me and Wanda and I's got to figure out is that we don't want to ship this thing to somebody who has no way to put it up or somebody who doesn't even have a place to put it up.
Yeah.
We've got to make sure that whoever gets it is going to be using it.
Donald wants to know if you're a wooden or stainless paddle for syrup.
I use a wooden or stainless paddle for syrup.
You're doing your syrup.
You
have a skimmer and a.
I have a skimmer that I use, and it's all steel.
And then you have that little.
I have a small pot with a wooden handle. It's homemade. Yeah. And I used for testing it to see. There is no stirring because you never stir syrup. That's one thing you learn. If you ever stir it while you're cooking it, the dregs will get mixed down in it, and you can't get them out. You'll have these black flakes in it you cannot get out of it. So you don't ever stir your syrup.
Yeah, several people say, I would love to have it. One says, I'll send a picture. Another says, I would, and I have the property. See, that's something we've got to kind of figure out how to run that type of a giveaway, because you don't want to send it to somebody that lives in an apartment or something like that. We don't want to choose that type of person. So, and it's not that we're against them. We'll have other giveaways that they can participate in. But somebody that does have some property and preferably owns their property, because you don't want to ship it to somebody that's renting and then they got to take it all up or leave it on the rental property. So it'll be a little bit of a process on this one, how to figure out who and what.
Lori, the only seed you need to put in the freezer would be something like corn or field peas or something like that. You don't need to put tomatoes or cucumbers or squash or nothing like that needs to go in the freezer.
Ship syrup and paint cans? Is that what I saw? You can't ship syrup and paint cans.
Well, syrup used to be in syrup buckets.
Yeah, I know. If we
They look like paint cans.
I guess that's what she's talking about.
Yeah, they look like little paint cans.
I was saying that's not healthy, but yeah, hey, I get what you're saying. Well, to put syrup into anything other than glass or those type cans.
Yeah.
But we don't have any, so that would be different.
Yeah, we just got to figure out how we're going to do this giveaway. We might ask for a brief explanation of why you want one, how much land you have, do you own your property? I mean, it's not like we're trying to be too bossy, but I mean, if we're going to give something that expensive away, we want to make sure that it goes to somebody who will use it.
Yeah. I'm saying they'll send pictures. They don't mind.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think if you honestly really want a greenhouse and you wouldn't mind at least not invasive. I mean, I don't want specifics, but we would like to know that you do own your property and can put it up.
Christine says do a video contest of their property.
Do what now?
Do a video contest of their properties.
We
would send you a little video clip of their property, and you judge based on
a little short clip.
Yeah.
Oh, that might be interesting. You send me a 20-second clip of, hey, this is where I would put my greenhouse right here.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it would not be side of the road somewhere on a highway.
Right.
Yeah, so that would be pretty good. I see one said they would use it as part of a kid's education. See, that's a really good reason. That's what we're looking for. Things like that, it's a 16 by 24. And not everybody can do clips, and I get that. So pictures would work. It's just that would be a cool way to have a quick shot. But I mean, pictures probably would work. Saying, hey, look, I've got a place scoped out right here. That would be cool. We also have something that we're really not going to talk too much about right now, but
technically, we can't ship to Canada. I mean, it has to be U.S. I believe.
I don't know. I need to ask that.
You need to ask if it can go to Canada
I do really need to ask that. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the continental United States. Freesteading, our new platform we're working on with Tag at Life Done Free and Bobby Spags at Spags Unlimited. No, Unfiltered.
Spags Unfiltered.
He's unlimited.
He's unlimited. He's also unfiltered.
He's unfiltered. Yeah, we're going to have something coming up for Christmas for the kids, so y'all be watching that. It's going to be announced over on Freesteading and on our channel in a week or two. Not long. We're going to get that going up. And y'all, if you hadn't joined Freesteading, go over and join. The app has been approved, and we're just waiting on the final few things. Marketplace is almost up.
Marketplace. Amish Bear. All right. I'm glad you're actually getting to put your smokehouse up. I hope it works out good for you.
Yeah. So far, a lot of people have been doing that smokehouse, and they're kind of making yours look.
They're really taking it to the.
They're taking it to the next level.
They're taking it to the next limit. Yeah.
A lot of people are doing an amazing job with their smokehouses.
Yeah.
They look at Danny's and they take it up a notch, or they figure out something else. And I really like the way they had some things hanging. I don't remember who had them hanging, but the way they had their hangers and stuff done in there.
It's me. Yes, you wait for your beans to turn brown before you pick them. Frost is not going to hurt them unless they're still in the green stage, and if they're in the green stage, it might mess with them a little bit, but you need to let them dry.
Gee West, He said, I don't need a high tunnel, but I'll settle for Danny's cub.
Oh, no.
You and, well, somebody, the last week, somebody else sent me a message and said they would love for me to just ship Danny's cub to him. And I'm like, really? I don't think so. That ain't happening.
No, that's my baby right there now.
He's liking his cub.
I love my farmalls. You know, if it was left up to me, I'd be working on another one. I'd be working on a 140 or a Super A or Super C or something like that. But this one right here says enough's enough. I've only got like
to sell if anybody's interested in a Belarus, you really need to sell the Belarus.
Yeah, I got a 250 AS Belarus that's
away.
It needs fixing. It needs a little bit of work done to it, but I'm gonna get rid of it probably at a real good price.
You just got to know it is as is, and it needs some work.
Yeah, it was running when I shut it down. It needs a battery, I know, and it's probably gonna need
brakes.
It needs some brakes.
One reason we got another tractor.
Probably needs another seat. The steering is froze up on it. I know what's wrong with it because it happened to me and I fixed it once, but I just didn't weld it. If I'd have welded it, it would have corrected the problem, but it's really an easy fix. And probably, I don't know how much I'd even want for it. Probably.
He looks good, y'all. He just got a bath. That's why he looks so good.
It's Saturday night. I got my Saturday night bath right before I come on here.
Can carrots stand a frost?
Yes.
Somebody asked that.
As long as they're not little teeny weeny seedlings like this. And once they get to some good tops on them, a light frost is not going to hurt them.
Somebody wants to know about keeping veggie seeds in a refrigerator.
I've already answered that once. I told him, I said, you don't have to keep all your veggie seeds in the refrigerator. Only things like corn or peas or something like that. And it's only got to be for 2 weeks then.
Okay. Somebody asked something about Danny's. Danny, you're a national treasure. Can you get Danny's gardening books chipped in? I don't know what that means, chipped in. We have ebooks, but I don't know what chipped means, unless you misspelled it. We do have the hard copy books over here. You want to show them? One of each.
We've got the hard copies. We've got a carrot one.
This is the carrot.
Look, I ain't got no thumb on his hand, so I can't.
Yeah, he's having issues trying to do stuff. This is the carrot manual. This one is the sweet potato. And we want to talk about these too a little bit. This one is the English pea. Now you notice they all have holes in them for a binder. They fit in a 3-ring binder. These are made locally at our print shop here. You can just lay them up there somewhere. We have a local guy that makes them, so we try to keep as many things as we can local. So it helps him business wise. And Danny's thought about another one, but he just hasn't sat down and done it. I figured with this thumb he might slow down, but he ain't slowed down. Not a lot.
Danny, what brand of wood-burning stove do you recommend? We use the Vogelzang Ponderosa stove that is made to heat 3,000 square feet. It has a fresh air inlet on the back of it. It is actually mobile home safe and all that. The problem with many people are putting up videos about how to put up wood heaters and stuff like that, and they totally are not doing it right. They're using the wrong stoves
for the
wrong pipe, not putting thimbles in walls. They don't have the fresh air inlet for too small of an area. You have to have it where you have the right amount of oxygen coming in for those things to operate properly. You got to have triple wall pipe going through walls. I mean,
it costs as much for the pipe or more than it costs for the heater.
Yes.
In lots of instances. You can get a little small wood heater stove for $300 or $400 or $500, and the pipe usually will cost you that if you do it right.
Yeah.
That triple wall pipe that goes through the wall is expensive, but it's well worth keeping your house from burning.
Yeah. We use triple wall pipe through our wall and then all the way out the tops of our chimney up there. And I do recommend stainless.
Mary Louise said that her and her husband have retired. They're ready to go into the next stage in veggie and flower production and work on their farm full time. They have 8 acres and they put a high tunnel to good use.
Okay.
Y'all get the drift. Y'all know what y'all are doing. We'll announce probably, since that thing starts November the 5th, in the next couple of weeks.
Poppy C said that stove is no longer on the market.
Go figure.
Go figure. You might know something I bought is no longer on the market. We just bought fire brick for it, so it's not.
You can replace parts.
You can get parts for it.
They're phasing out wood burning
well,
stoves.
what they're doing is they're not necessarily phasing out all the wood burning stoves. They're phasing out the ones that don't have the catalyst burner. And ours is a catalyst burner. It reburns its own gases. So.
Yeah. Grizz says it doesn't matter what kind of wood stove, just make sure it's made of hardwoods. They smolder long.
That's true.
Okay, the stove is not wood. It burns wood.
It burns wood, yeah.
I can't help it. That's funny.
How can you keep nematodes out of potatoes growing in 5-gallon buckets? Lime. Well, you can't put lime in with potatoes because lime will make your potatoes, the skin on alligator crack. Nematodes, oh boy. You have to solarize it. You're going to have to. Only other way is going to be to solarize it or just get new dirt in the bucket.
Yeah. All right, somebody's asked a couple of times about canning cabbage. Now, I have done that before, but it takes, I think it was an hour and a half to can cabbage, and you know that's mush when you open it. So I did that, and we didn't like it. It takes all the flavor out pretty much.
You can can it, but
you can do it, but it's like a last resort.
I would recommend something like sauerkraut or something like that. If I was
some type of fermenting, and it's not going to last long term, but it's longer than fresh. Miss Lippy has a video up, I think, of canning. She canned, what's it called? Coleslaw, I believe. So that's the way I'm going to try it. I would say check out Miss Lippy's video on canning coleslaw and see if that's a way you would like it. See what the ingredients are and stuff and base it on that.
Old Timers Homestead said, could I bring a big sweet potato plant in over winter and use the runners in the spring for planting? Yes, if you can keep it alive all winter, by all means you can do that.
Yeah. People are saying you could dehydrate cabbage. I'm pretty sure you could. If you have a freeze dryer, you probably could freeze dry cabbage. But most people make sauerkraut or ferment it or something like that. But if we have our
chow chow, you can make chow chow too. Yeah.
If we have our way and things work really well, Danny planted a lot.
I planted a lot of cabbage this year. I probably planted 50 cabbages.
And in both high tunnels, did you do some outside?
I did some outside and high tunnels just to see the difference. I wanted to compare outside growing cabbages versus inside the high tunnels, and I wanted to see how well each one did.
Yeah.
We already know that the carrots are already turning out different.
Yeah.
We usually in 6 days, our carrots are up, and it's already been like 12 days, I think. Mm-hmm. And our carrots are just now starting to break the ground and make the little forks on the top of them. So we're already like 6 days behind. And we have perfect weather, except the sun is just like intense.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is freesteading for just U.S. residents? No. We have also, it's for anybody. It doesn't matter whether you homestead or not or where you live. It's for everybody, and they also have state pages, but they have an international page where you can go over, and eventually it'll be broken down into countries. But right now, I think it just says international. I don't know if they've got all the countries broken down. But the state page, the state discussion is broken into subgroups of 50 because there's 50 United States. So you can join your own state.
I'm a prepper says she cans her cabbage on 10 pounds of pressure for 45 minutes. Said delicious, and I'm still living.
Yeah.
I've done it that way for years.
See, I've done some in 45 minutes. Ours was, I want to say it was an hour and a half, a long time, but it was just like mush. It still tasted like cabbage, but it was not as good. We ate some, but I didn't do but one canner.
They want to know, how did that Thelma sweet potato so-called thing taste?
I have a video on Crazy Days. Y'all go over and watch it. Put it up last week where I used it. What was it? I don't remember the name. Maybe Miss Lippy can pop up the video over on Crazy Days. I cut it open. I showed how I cut it and how I steamed it and the whole 9 yards and what I made. And people ask me all the time to put the recipe in the description. Y'all, I was winging it the whole time. I didn't have a recipe, so if I put the recipe in the description, I had to go back and watch my own video and handwrite it down and then type it in. It'd be easier for y'all just to watch the video and write it down. Because I was winging it the whole time. just the way I roll when I cook. Did I remember correctly? Will elderberry do well in an area of my yard that gets very wet? Is it elderberry doesn't?
Elderberry likes damp areas, yes.
If you refrigerate sweet potatoes all winter, will they keep?
Sweet potatoes are do best at 50 to 55 degrees and slight humidity. Just not much, just a little bit. And I don't know that a refrigerator is going to stay at 50 to 55 degrees. And even in a vegetable drawer, I think it probably still stays about 45 degrees.
Okay, so Monkey Food Garden wants to know about canned squash ideas.
I have videos on canned squash.
Yeah, I use it for casseroles. I've also, like I made a pot of soup this past week. I opened it, I drained the juice and just dumped the squash over, or you could use the juice in place of water, either way. But I already had too much moisture in my soup, so I just drained the squash, added it to the soup. Nobody knows it's even in there because it's mushy. Any casserole, you can always add it to it because whatever the casserole tastes like, squash will absorb that taste. It won't taste like squash. It'll be whatever you're cooking. We make squash puppies, which is like hush puppies, only I just drain it and squeeze most of the juice out and add it to hush puppies. I mean, there's multiple ways. Squash casseroles, like dressing. Is it okay to plant my red potatoes here in zone 10?
I would, if I was going to plant potatoes in zone 10, I would probably wait until December to plant them. I would not plant them until December.
Okay.
Give us a 2-minute drill on the Russian situation. Oh, my word. Well,
he just was catching up a while ago because he's been busy all day.
I've been busy all day. I do know that they have sabotaged the bridge between Russia and Kiev.
And who they is.
And the big issue is Putin going to look at this as an act of war? The Ukrainians have not yet accepted responsibility for this, although I believe they probably will. Even if they didn't do it, I believe they'll accept responsibility for it. I don't know if I can go any deeper than that.
All right,
I know that I can't. Some things I just can't say. I mean,
all right. Is there any way to water bath bush beans? People have done it.
People have done it in.
Tell you to do it, but there's.
You got. To put it to you this way: if you water bath bush beans, you've got to use vinegar in them.
A touch, yeah. And I don't have a recipe for that, but I do believe it's safe if you do have a recipe from an older person that can tell you exactly what to do. I'm not sure how many YouTube videos are out there that's true. I think Miss Old Alabama Gardener may have had one. So check Old Alabama Gardener, water bath and green beans and see if he has one. If he does, I would trust his videos. Where did you purchase heirloom seeds? Something, I'm missing it. All right, where did it say? Where do y'all purchase your heirloom seeds? I've used Baker Creek, but they seem to be a little expensive. Your advice would be much appreciated. That's Jerry.
Jerry, we don't really buy a lot of seeds.
The one we have.
And our experience, and when we buy seeds, we don't get what we buy. Most of the seeds that I have that are heirloom came from just our local stores here where I live at years and years ago. And I have just basically acclimated most of my seeds to my own climate here. And when we have a surplus, we do sell seeds ourselves. But other than that, there is a company called High Mowing that does a pretty good job on heirloom seeds. You might check them out. High Mowing has been pretty reliable. So far it's been reliable on anything we've done a specialty order on. Let me say that.
The ones with it did not was, what was it?
True Leaf did not turn out to be right.
Yeah.
Jung Seeds did not turn out to be right.
R.H.
Shumway did not turn out to be right.
And we've had people well, I don't know. There's,
we've had bad luck with Baker Creek even coming up where we live at. So we quit buying from Baker Creek. We have bought from Hoss Tool many times, but now he's expensive for the amount of seed that you get.
We've not had any issues with Hoss Tools, but we've had subscribers that got Red Ripper peas that were not Red Ripper peas, but they made it good.
But they made it good, yeah.
So
but everything we've got from Hoss Tool has always came up. I'll say that. But
they usually produce abundantly.
Yeah, and they are expensive. Let me just say that for the amount that you get. We've used Seed Savers Exchange before, and we've had some pretty good luck with them in the past.
The survival seeds, what was it called? Survival garden
seeds. We've had really good luck with them. I'm going to tell you, you may not believe this, we had some really good luck with dollar store seeds.
Yeah.
I mean,
thank you, Larry.
Especially with the Kozozel.
He's saying zucchini. I can get a cup of coffee with that.
Oh. The Kozozel zucchini squash, all them, they were from the dollar store, and they came up and have done fantastic.
Yeah. Okay. Where are we at? I lost some of it now. Okay, Miss Libby and Allison put up the old Alabama vinegar canning beans. So there is a recipe there. And
Mr. Charles, I trusted Mr. Charles.
He was a good guy. He was an older guy that knew how all the older ways, and he's the one that showed me how to do the okra. He called and walked me through it, and so that's how come I have a video on canning okra the way I do.
Yeah. Now, we've used territorial seeds in the past, and we've done pretty good with them. Yeah, we used Kitazawa seeds for our carrots, and we've always had good luck with those. People wants to know how my thumb's doing. Well, it's a little short. That's all I can say. It's just a little bit short. I'm going to come up a little short on my thumb. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Yeah, just about.
I'm going to come up about that much short on it.
But he did go to the...
I did go to a, what would you call it, a wound care clinic this week.
Yesterday.
And they redone it and looked at it and said everything looked fine. Said in 30 days or more I should be back to normal if nothing happens.
So it didn't really do a massive damage. It looked like it did. But
they told me that the nail will probably not grow back.
Really?
And that it will be shorter.
Yeah. But everything looked good. No problems, and so far not a whole lot of pain.
How long do I wait to wean calves if you do so? We like to do it at about, on the Dexters, I leave mine 5 months, sometimes 6, just depends.
Yes, I do peel the turmeric before I freeze dry it. I go ahead and take a carrot peeler or something, and kind of peel it, or either take your knife and peel it, whichever way. And then I chopped it up into tiny little pieces and freeze dried it, and it's amazing. I like the turmeric and the ginger freeze dried.
Tammy Hall says, I have the same kinds of thumb on the same hands. I know how you feel.
They're saying somebody else is using Old Alabama's channel name, and I guess as he passed away, somebody's trying to use that name. I don't know. It wouldn't be really.
Let me just tell y'all this. If you buy heirloom seeds, save your own seeds. Don't just keep trying to buy seeds every year. Learn how to save seeds. Save your own, because they will acclimate to your climate, and you'll actually end up with a better seed in the long run.
Yeah. Somebody saying they wean it. They're Quebec Canadians at 2 months.
Piece of My Heart Homestead seller said, my dollar store seeds did better than anything else this year. Sometimes you just get the cheapest is the best. I mean, I'm not going to try to tell you got to go buy these expensive seeds.
Allison's asked him, with the price of dairy and butter going up, will we start milking any cows?
Well, not right. We've talked about it, Allison. But right now we have Barrett, blesses us with a little bit of milk and butter and stuff like that. And, as long as he's doing that, we probably won't. But if we have to. As soon as we can
get some projects down, we have Candy and Dolly, both that we can milk. And Candy's baby, though, is getting a little older. Dolly will be having a baby in December, so if we decided to, we would probably start with Dolly in December, but it's just, we don't use a lot of milk. That's one thing that I think Barrett will bring, a half gallon?
Yeah.
And that'll go up 2 to 3 weeks sometimes for us. We don't use milk. And butter is one of those things. I use very little butter. I mean, we just cut all that out several years ago, and I barely use any. So it's not beneficial for me to milk a cow every day and make a whole lot when we don't even use it. So that's kind of our thought.
Lemon thyme, I was told, can come back every year. I'm not having much luck. Put it in pots this year so I can move it. Any recommendations to save it for the springs? Lemon thyme cannot take any freezing weather or anything like that. It's got to be brought in where you can keep it, or either have a greenhouse or something to put it in where you can keep it from freezing and take care of it.
Somebody's asking about beehives. We had beehives here at one time. It was not mine and Danny's. We had a company bring them in and overwinter them here.
I used to have my own until I got rid of them.
Yeah, way on before us.
Yeah.
And this company would bring them and leave them over winter. And we have a few videos of them coming and working the bees and stuff like that way back in our videos. And they did that for maybe 3 years.
About 3 years, yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
And then they didn't come back. It was one of those things that all their bees swarmed that year, and I guess they just picked the hive things up and didn't come back. But we also have a neighbor close that has it on his property every year, so they had 2 sets of bees within too close of a proximity.
Jerry says, when raising hogs, what breed do you recommend? If it's where you can get them, the Idaho pasture pigs is probably the all-around best pigs to use, in my opinion. Laura wants to know, do you buy onion sets? We do buy onion sets. We get them from Dixondale, but like a couple of years ago, and then this year I'm raising my own. If they do okay, we won't be buying from Dixondale, but if for some reason they don't make it in time, I will be buying from Dixondale.
Emily wants to know, what do I substitute butter for in recipes? Most recipes, like when my kids were growing up and stuff, I would put butter in beans and all this stuff. I don't do that anymore. I just cut out using butter altogether. Now, I still use butter, like when I make his no, I don't even put it in your sweet potato thing. I've cut it out in most desserts. Now there's some desserts you have to put it in. That's when I use butter. We don't use butter hardly in anything but on some toast occasionally. And if I make a cake or something that calls for butter, then I do use butter. But
let me tell y'all something about honeybees. Honeybees do not pollinate most garden crops. Honeybees mainly pollinate fruit trees, corn, some cucumbers. Rarely do they pollinate squash or anything like that, but they just about, that's about all they mess with. They don't really, honeybees are not your best garden pollinators. You get more pollinating out of bumblebees and stuff like that for your gardens. Danny, do you need an avocado tree? No, we've tried avocados here. We just don't have good luck with them.
why no butter? Well, when we started the journey on his health, we had to figure out what was bothering him and things like that. And one of the things that we cut out was dairy. So that meant no butter, no milk, no cheese, nothing. So we just went to eating vegetables pretty much.
Well, we went to coconut oil and we realized that coconut oil was causing my heart to be irregular. So we had to get off of the coconut oil.
We tried olive oil.
We tried the first pressed extra virgin olive oil, and it messes with me a little bit, not much. The only thing we've had 100% success with has been our own home rendered lard from our own pigs. Once we started doing that, lots of my symptoms have cleared up.
Yeah. He still has some issues, but that's dealing with something else. But stomach issues, we've almost figured out a lot of it. But we had cut out the dairy. And I'm not a milk drinker. And he's not a milk drinker. So we didn't need milk to drink. Basically, I use it in cornbread. If a recipe calls for milk, but I don't have very many recipes that call for milk.
No.
And I have very few that call for butter. So I'm planning on making some ghee before long. Barrett brought me some to try, and so I like the way it works with what I've tried. I tried cooking our steaks in ghee, and it worked really well. And what else did I do?
Well, ghee has a higher flash point than butter does.
Yes.
It doesn't scorch near as bad.
The steaks were amazing.
Steaks were amazing.
So he had brought me some to try, and when his kids get through with their tournaments and stuff, and Kelly and I get a time to sit down and do some stuff, I'm going to go over and watch them make ghee, and we're going to see if I can't try it and have some stored up. I have some canned butter just in case.
Sandy says, is it safer to live north or south of a nuclear plant? It depends on where your prevailing winds are. If your prevailing winds are out of the south, it's better to live south of one. If your prevailing winds come from the north, it's better to live north of one. It just depends on
whether it's pushing it or shoving it.
Depends on what the prevailing winds are in your area.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying they make ghee and they love it. Yeah, I'd never even tried it till Barrett brought some, and it was really nice.
Oh, wow. Where can we get your manuals, Danny? Love this. Go over to deepsouthhomestead.etsy.com, and you'll find the manuals over there. You can buy them in a trio. You can buy them individually. I would suggest buying them in a trio because you get a better price that way.
You don't have the extra shipping.
You ain't got the extra shipping that way, but it's all up to you.
Hey, Permapastures. What's up, Danny?
Oh, yeah. Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
That's what's up, Billy.
This is it, Billy, right here.
Billy's going to have to come help.
I'm a little bit short.
So that I have to get him. He might know how to butcher turkeys.
Well, I'm sure he knows how to butcher a turkey, but you have to. My turkeys, you can't pluck them. You have to skin them like a deer. They're so big they have to be skinned like a deer.
I'm sure he's going to make a quick trip to Mississippi to clean 2 turkeys.
Right. I announced that.
I do use almond milk some.
Rarely now. We used to use it all the time, but we don't hardly use it anymore. After all, we found out all the chemicals that's in it.
So we keep a shelf-stable almond milk.
Yeah.
and use it on occasion. Um, I don't use for coffee. I usually use Coffee Mate, but I'm making some of my own. I guess you would say coffee
Yeah.
creamer. I'm freeze drying some milk, and I'm freeze drying the Barrett brought. I've been a little bit left over each time. I'm pouring into my freeze dryer cubes and making freeze dried milk. I'm also doing some yogurt, and I'm trying to think something else. And you can use all that stuff in coffee.
Raw food writer, should we be concerned about the missing Russian sub? Let me put it this way
It
to
ain't
you.
missing in South Florida. I'm just joking.
The Russians have just built two 600-foot nuclear submarines. Both of them carry enough of a payload to wipe the face of the earth off. Technically, they're only missing to us the one. Russia knows right where they're at. So, and we only know where the one is because they want us to know where it's at. Russia dominates the ocean. Russia dominates outer space. And the sad part about it is these submarines do carry the Poseidon bomb. And at any given time they wish, they can detonate a Poseidon bomb in the Atlantic Ocean and take out the whole eastern coast of the United States with over 100-foot high wall of water. I mean, that's a known thing that they can do. Will they do it? I don't know. There's been a lot of people who've had dreams about the east coast of the United States being washed away by a large tsunami. Now, will it come true? I don't know. They also carry a biological weapon that is a nerve type of weapon that could take out the whole northern hemisphere, which is Canada and the United States at one time. So they have some of the worst weapons in the world right now.
Will you sell the Farmall tractor? I'll come buy it how much? Jonathan.
It is not for sale.
Wanda has a price.
Wanda has a price, but Danny don't have a price.
As of the last purchases, we're up to about $15,000 on this thing. Every time he makes a purchase, it goes up $1,000. Not that he's spending that much, but the price of it, he spent, a guy brought him some parts, and he spends time working on them.
Yeah, I re-sandblast them. I clean them up, take them back down, put new bolts, new parts, everything in them brand new.
Now the Cub, no. If you want the Belarus out here now, that's a different story. We'll make you a good deal on a Belarus, like really dirt cheap price.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want your Belarus.
I don't know. I mean, actually, to be honest with you,
it's a good tractor.
The Belarus actually has a lot more features than all the American tractors do.
It's a Russian tractor.
You can actually put that thing in low range in first gear and get out and hoe the garden in front of it. It's that slow.
But it pulls like a man.
Oh,
I mean, it's a horse.
It pulls like a bulldozer.
Yeah, it's got some power behind it. So what else? What have we got going on? Somebody sent me something.
Somebody sent you some cards this week, didn't they?
Can you hand me under the cookbooks? I don't remember what all I stacked up there. I know part of it is not it, but some of it may be. That goes up. I know I got a letter from. Let me see how they signed it.
We got 2 letters this week, I know.
Yeah, I just had to remember. Kathy. I was going to say Kathy. I got a handwritten letter. Miss Kathy writes me off and on, and thank you, Kathy, for the letter. I'm not going to tell y'all what all she says every time, but she does send me thank you card from Carol. Make sure. Yes. She's the one that won the My Patriot Supply gift card in our last giveaway. So she sent me a thank you card, and I told Danny, I said, I do believe that's one of the first times I've ever got a thank you card from one of the subscribers that we sent something to.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, I get like emails sometimes telling me thank you and stuff, but that's the first thank you card I think I've gotten. And then this was from Michael. He said, well, we supposed to send him something.
Don't ask me. You get these cards, not me.
Okay, I didn't write on there that, but anyway, we got a note from Michael.
Danny, what's a good number of chickens to keep in an 8 by 16 chicken house? You can probably keep
Got your finger.
you can probably keep 8 or 10 chickens in there pretty easy.
Okay.
What sugar cane do you grow working on my meal? I have a chewing cane and I have a syrup making cane. Both of them are old varieties, the Cajun Homestead. I don't know any names or numbers. How much for the Belarus tractor? Probably $800.
Well, that was a quick, cheap price. That sounds good. If you wanted, let me know, Miss Darling. It would have to be hauled. I don't know.
Yeah, you'd have to.
It would have to have a. What would they have to put it on?
You'd have to have a 16-foot trailer or an 18-foot trailer to put it on.
You haven't cranked it yet to make sure it's going to drive up on one.
I haven't cranked it because I don't have a battery.
Yeah. He hadn't got out and played with it yet. We just talked this week about getting rid of it because he needs it moved from where it's at so he can fix the hillside. Just before it rains and washes it all down the hill again. Oh no, Jesus says her niece's daughter is missing, so please pray for her that she's found safe. Yes.
Yeah.
Miss Starla said she would take it.
Mm.
Good. Just email me. Will y'all please pray for my foot? I've developed heel spurs and it hurts. That's the Lady Lair. I heard from Abama Lou from Abama Gardner. I think it is Abama Gardner. Not old Alabama Gardner, but Abama Lou. She's the one that has bone cancer, and she said it was doing a kind of a job on her this week, but she's still sending us messages.
Thanks, Twisted Ponies. I hope you get your cows back in. I know how you feel. We've been there.
Yeah. There's Coastal Redwood. They popped in. I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
If you've got bone spurs on the bottom of your feet, take a 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle and freeze it solid and set it under your feet at night and roll it back and forth over those bone spurs. That's what I did, and mine eventually crushed and came off, and I didn't have to have anything else done.
When's the rain coming?
Where you live at?
Here?
Probably Wednesday and Thursday for most people. If you live north of us, maybe Tuesday and Wednesday. And I can't promise you it'll be a lot of rain, but there'll be some.
Miss Debbie said pray for her daughter-in-law. She just lost her dad a little while ago. Elijah's Farm said, Wanda, I remember when you were on Homestead's channel talking about how you left the city and met Danny. That's an old video.
That's an old video. Do we watch Monkey Works? I have seen him before. Ain't that the channel where he talks about all the airplanes flying and stuff like that? I think I've seen him
we went over a couple of times a few months ago, but we don't watch a whole lot of everybody. We just kind of skim the things. Let's see. For the most part, we don't have time to watch a lot. Danny will watch more than I do.
That's only because I get up before her. Nadia says, pray for me. I'm having hernia operation on Wednesday. Okay.
What are bone spurs? Do I want to know? Probably not.
Poppy seeds, you don't want to know. It's a calcium deposit that builds up on the bone. Usually it's on the bottom of the heel or on the balls of the feet or something like that. They can be all up and down your back. They can be anywhere in your body, but on the bottom of the feet, they really hurt bad.
Okay, so Dave is asking, can you recommend pecan tree types? He's in East Tennessee and would like to plant 3 trees.
Gosh, in East Tennessee, the Stewart pecans were doing pretty good in East Tennessee, the last I heard, and Mayhans were doing pretty good. But other than that, the Stewart and the Mayhan are the only two that I really heard was doing very good at all.
Yeah. First advisory has been issued for Arizona and Canada. All right, Arizona is her name. She lives in Canada.
Yeah.
So we heard that they were going to have snow, like
Yeah.
all over Canada. And we know some places in the United States has had their first little sprinkling of snow.
Yeah.
Do you think the banks?
Do you think the banks will go under? I don't technically believe all the banks are going to go under. I believe that they will suffer some major setbacks as part of a plan to change the currency at some point.
Yeah. What do y'all like to do for fun? We went fishing with the grandkids.
Yes. Now, Dexter and I fed the fish all evening.
Cynthia and I saw that. I was going, where are they at? And we saw you standing at the pier.
Oh, we got the biggest kick out of watching them big old bass coming up in there. Boy, I mean, they were.
But no, we took Faith and Grace, spent the night with us this week. And Grace caught, I'll have a video up with some of the short clips, but Grace caught 2 or 3 little fish, but Faith caught 2 big catfish. And she's hollering, Papa, Papa.
Yeah.
Papa. She was hollering for him to hurry up and get it.
She caught 2 nice 5-pound ones, and the line broke on 3.
2 for her and 1 for me.
Yeah, 2 for her and 1 for you. 3 of them the line got broke on. So.
Yeah, so they're big fish now. They're not little fish anymore. Now there's a lot of little fish.
Yeah.
And the back pond, like you said, y'all were watching the bass. You and I last night sat out there and watched the brim.
Yeah.
The brim were just lots and lots of brim in there.
Andy R. said, how much cash should be kept around? Well, that depends on your lifestyle. That depends on what your expenses are. I mean, there is no magic number for that. I mean, it would not be, I would think it would not be less than $300 or $400, but.
And as much as thousands if you need it.
If you needed, if you had medical.
How many bills do you need to pay?
Yeah, medical issues and stuff like that. You might want to keep 1,000 or 2, but it just depends on how much you need for your emergency fund. Refrigerator went out, freezer went out, something like that.
Yeah, until they make a transition, and it's not sure when, you would like to have some cash on hand. You don't want to be just totally without. I would think that would be a biggie right now, is to keep some cash on hand, because nobody has cash anymore.
Right.
And so if you're sitting there and you have no cash, and they won't let you use your card even for 24 hours. Some people panic in 24 hours. So can you go 24 hours without using your card? Can you go 3 days? Can you go a week? According to how long they do this, because the Dow did go down this week considerably.
Danny, my best friend's granddaughter, took the jab. She got pregnant. Now 3 months old. Baby is putting up in bed and pushing Walker everywhere. Is there a connection with the jab?
3 months old?
The sad part is, yes, there is. More than likely, it has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, somebody says I would keep as much money as you could afford to. Yeah, I mean, that's a good general way to look at it. Whatever you can afford, to at least have some money there.
Jan says, we need to pray for rain. The ground is so dry I can't dig it and plant my fall. Look, my tractor today would not even hardly pull fence post out of the ground that was only a foot deep.
Yeah. It's just dusty and dry.
It's pure dust. Are acorns okay to feed goats and pigs? They're okay for pigs, not necessarily goats. Pigs love acorns, but I would not give them to the goats. Now, goats will nibble on them. It's not going to hurt them to nibble on them, but they don't need to gorge on them because of the tannins in them.
right. Hurricane Fiona hit here. I have no power for 5 days. All the tips I learned from Deep South saved my food. Thank you. Oh, great. Yeah, if you're not saving some food and have some cash on hand, and especially water. Most people forget water.
Yeah.
So just have some water on hand. Any medicines you might need for a few days, because if you can't use a card and you go to the what you call pharmacy and they can't take cards, they may not sell you medicine even with cash. You don't ever know, because a lot of these places won't take cash just for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
all right, so we're past 9.
Yeah, I'm sitting here just kind of really.
Everybody's saying they need rain.
It's bad here.
What is good to grow for fall to feed chickens?
Things like kale, this type of stuff. Any of your green leafy stuff during the winter times is really good to feed chickens.
And I think somebody asked what we had putting in the ground outside. We did our carrots. You put some cabbage, broccoli, rutabagas.
Yeah, I have cabbage, broccoli, rutabagas, a few tomato plants in the high tunnel. I have Cozozel zucchini squash outside. I have red cabbage, I have green cabbage. We still have our peppers. We have our onions. I mean, we have stuff, some Cherokee yellow wax beans.
Yeah, those things. I planted quite a few, but didn't all of them come up. And when they came up, they started producing, a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
Just started producing. Y'all, I can only say these Bush Cherokee yellow wax beans do better than any bean we've ever had, and they have a wonderful taste. We've been eating off of them 4 times now? And I have another meal in the fridge, and it's like 6 plants maybe. I mean, it's just amazing how many we get. So we're going to plant some more for the winter.
Goats, sheep, or pigs? What's the best choice? I have chickens. Pigs, if you're looking for the most economical one to raise, it's pigs, because pigs eat up all your garden scraps and anything like that. They clean up forests and stuff like that.
They don't get sick like the others.
They don't get sick like the others do. They have the best turnover from food to meat ratio than any animal out there. And you can do so much more with pork than you can with goats and sheep. You can make lard with them. You can make sausage. You can make ham. You can make bacon. I mean, there's tons of stuff that you can do with pigs that you can't do with sheep and goats.
Okay. All right, so we need to have prayer, and I don't know, have you thought of a tip?
A tip. I forgot all about that.
That's what I figured.
Oh, man.
Y'all, I'm going to put him on the spot. Do we
Gosh.
overwinter our pepper plants? Our pepper plants have been overwintered 2 winters. We got them in the summer. That winter, we had them last winter, and now they've made this year. We're probably down in those pepper plants and starting all over for next year. Because this is their 3rd time to produce. So
Yeah.
we're kind of, then they have outproduced. I'm going to tell you what, that's been some good peppers.
They've been some really good peppers.
Now we might overwinter the jalapeno.
Yeah, we might overwinter that one.
This is its 1st year, so
Yeah.
we might overwinter that one. Do we make cracklings? We have a video on making cracklings.
We have video on making cracklings. We got videos on making
pork skins.
Bacon. Our latest video on making bacon, we just only used sugar and salt. Our other videos, we used the pink salt and all in it, but we did this one without the pink salt, and we actually like this one better.
All right, Miss Starla says she's getting ready to take radiation. Are they going to be side effects? If so, what can I do?
Oh, man. Miss Darla, radiation, the one thing, radiation accumulates in the body. There is some diets that you can uh, get on to help get radiation out of the body. Of course, a person can do chelation. Chelation pulls heavy metals out of the body. Just, I'm not going to sit here and give you any advice as far as the doctor's concerned. I would say look up the proper diet for removing radiation from the body, because it will accumulate in the body and actually cause cancer later down the road. Now, I hate to tell you that, but that's honest truth. I'll be honest, I don't ever hold nothing back.
Yeah. So there are lots of different prayer requests here. What type of seasoning would you recommend putting back for hard times if you needed to do drying meat? Seasonings for drying
Salt
meat?
is all you need for drying meat. You're not going to be able to use any seasonings. You need black pepper, red pepper, and salt.
If you're just drying meat,
if you're just curing it and drying it, salt, red pepper, and black pepper.
But then if you're talking about once you start cooking it, any type of seasonings you like, Miss Lippy has a supply there. If y'all hadn't tried them, go over and check out Miss Lippy's Bayou Blends.
Bayou Blends, there you go.
That's for cooking with.
Yeah.
All right, so what do y'all do with the extra jalapeno peppers?
Ours is Fuji jalapenos. They're not actual jalapenos.
They're not hot. And so we can eat them in almost anything. I use them mainly in cornbread right now. We've got to where we love it in the cornbread since it's not giving it that hot taste. So most of my jalapenos are going into cornbread. And somebody wants to know how much acreage do we have, which is 10 acres. And somebody else says, how much property would you need for a pig?
Pigs don't require very much land at all.
You can
put them in a 20 by 20 pen. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Depends on the variety. And I want to tell Miss Starlet's talking about radiation. One of the best things for radiation burns is emu oil. Emu oil works wonders for radiation burns.
Yeah.
And we still need to pray for Florida because they got devastated by this man-made storm.
Yeah.
They want to know how the worms going. The worms are doing fine. I checked on them today. I gave them some apple peelings. They're doing just fine.
Yeah, I made some like quick applesauce today. I had cut up some apples and threw in some brown sugar and some cinnamon. Just as Cynthia got here, I was doing. She says, "Look, I need to know how to do that." So she and Dexter and I had some apples, cinnamon apples, for lunch. Danny had carrot salad.
I had carrot salad, yeah.
That was after we ate a hamburger and sweet potato fries.
What is emu oil? Emu oil comes from the emu bird. It's an oil made from the emu bird.
Used to be, was very, very popular.
It was really popular.
20 years ago.
Yeah, 20 years ago, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there's still people that do that, but 20 years ago it was a really big deal.
Yeah.
And it's really good for lots of stuff. I just don't know who to tell you to see about buying any. I know my mom kept it on hand.
Danny, have you heard anything about the next storm coming up by you guys? Yes, I have. There is one set to come into Gulf.
Next week? Or the end of the month?
From the middle to the end of October. And it's going to be a really big one. So all I'm going to say is Texas may get a lot of rain. Let me put it that way.
Somebody was asking how the rabbits are doing. They're doing fine. I don't think they were pregnant because we've had them about a month now, and so they have not had babies. So we're just collecting poop. That's the biggest reason we want them anyway.
Yeah.
Use the manure from them. Let's see. All right.
I had a tip, but I forgot what it was.
You're going to tip that popcorn over.
I know I'm going to be knocked that
upset.
popcorn over. Miss Wanda's going to be upset here about
yeah, this is my office. He brings in a glass of water, and I'm like,
I've already drank the glass of water.
I'm okay with that as long as you don't dump popcorn.
Okay, we're going to pray tonight. Father, we thank you for being so good to us tonight. You've blessed us with a wonderful chat tonight. We've had great people in here, Lord. We always love our people, and that's one thing we appreciate about them, because technically they're our family, and Lord, we appreciate them, and we want to be a blessing to as many people as we possibly can. Now, do we have all the answers? And the answer is no. We only know the things that you permit us to know, Father, and Father, some things we don't even say anything about because we can't change it anyway, so all it would do would just be cause anxiety, and we don't want to do that to people, Father. We just want to love them and help them get through things as best as we can. Many people here are going through radiation treatments, chemotherapy, cancer treatments of all kinds, having surgeries and different things, Father. There's lots of, seems like, even including me, it seems like there's lots of us having a lot of physical issues, and some of them not our fault, some of them are our fault. And we need your guidance and help to get through these times as we're all dealing with physical issues when it seems like the world's falling apart. And we need your help with that. We need your grace, your mercy. We need you to bless our bodies that they will be back, like it says in Isaiah, that we'll mount up wings and we'll fly and we'll run. We'll not be weary. Lord, we need our strength back, and we know that you can grant that to us. And we just pray for all these ailments that people have thrown out there to us, Lord. And Father, all the mental issues, the financial issues is a big one. People are going to start struggling financially here in the next, not going to be far off. People's going to really have to understand that finances is going to be a really big issue. And a lot of marriages end because of financial issues. And I'm just hoping and praying that if people do have financial issues, Lord, they can work through them and not lose their marriages over them. And we just want to thank you for being as good to the people of the United States as you've been over all these years. And Father, we know, Father, that troublesome times are here, and that we're going to be experiencing destruction of this country because of its wickedness before you. There has to be judgment, Lord. We knew that. We knew that if you didn't judge us, you would have to apologize to Sodom and Gomorrah. And we understand when we see these judgments coming that we've brought it upon our own selves. So be kind to your people through the judgments, Father, and deliver them as you did Daniel from the lion's den, and the 3 Hebrew children from the fiery furnace. And Father, we love you. We pray for the people in Florida, the people in South Carolina that had to endure this bad hurricane. And I'm going to go ahead and start praying for the one that's coming. Father, the one that's coming is said to be stronger than the one that has already come. And I'm praying now that you will suppress that you will send the fronts in here that we need to keep this thing, even if it comes into the Gulf, to keep it from making landfall in the United States. I know they're saying that it will. Probably the western part of the Gulf. But Father, we're hoping and praying that you will not let that happen, and that you will guide this thing and destroy it before it ever gets here. So Father, we love you, we appreciate you, but most of all, forgive us for we failed you in the kingdom of heaven now. We ask this in thy name. Amen. Oh, okay.
Oh, my granddaughter Bree was in a volleyball tournament, a state volleyball tournament this after all day today, and my daughter sent in and said Bree's team won state championship today. So congratulations, Bree, and thank you, Cool Breeze.
Yeah, thanks, Cool Breeze.
So we like to see the grands doing good and enjoying it, and we like to see Faith and Grace this week have a blast fishing. So, Tip, what'd you think of?
Oh,
You didn't
well,
think of nothing.
there is something that I'm not going to necessarily say this is a tip, but the United States, according to the information I've found out, has just spent over $1 billion on potassium iodide. And for them to do that, common sense tells me that they're expecting some sort of a nuclear event to take place to have this much potassium iodide on hand. Now, Wanda and I do have some, but I don't know that we have enough should a major event take place. That's the one thing. But if I was going to say, you might want to try, if you don't have any potassium iodide, to get you some. And the main reason for it is thyroid cancer. I mean, it does affect the thyroids, and thyroid cancer is something you don't want to come down with because it's very susceptible to radiation. So your endocrine system is very important to your bodies. So I would say if you wanted to call it a tip, you might want to try to go online and get you some potassium iodide, especially if you live in the northern part of the United States and the eastern part. I'm not going to go into any deeper than that. Those are the two areas I would be the most concerned about.
Okay, Abama Gardner popped in. She said, amen, God bless all here. Great show, Saturday Night Live gathering. Thank you for all who have prayed for me and this cancer. The power you bring with God's hand lifts my soul to get me through this. Yes, she had sent a message this weekend about, how she was getting through it with prayer, and she appreciated the Saturday Night Lives, and she sits and listens and enjoys the prayers and stuff.
Alabama Gardner, I don't know if you've checked into it yet, but check into stem cell research on bone cancer, because I have friends who's used that with very high success.
Okay, we have a My Patriot Supply link down in the description below, and they're saying that My Patriot Supply has them in stock right now. So if you want the potassium iodine, check out My Patriot Supply. We have a link in the description.
We probably need to get more ourselves.
Yeah. Logan says, in the coming days and always, don't stop praying, folks. Yes.
Yes. That is so true.
To be closer to God now than ever. And something Cynthia and I were talking about today. And don't forget, sometime in the next couple of days, I will have Cynthia and I's conversation on Crazy Days, and might put it up as a podcast too. I'm not 100% sure yet.
Yeah.
But we were talking about the one thing, she made this statement. She said, the one thing is we've all gotten away from the plan. And that is so true. We've all gotten away from what God intended for the creation to be. We don't even think about God. We don't put God into our lives. We just think about what we want and what we want to do every day. And that wasn't exactly God's plan.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, guys. I mean, just any of those of you who said you was interested in the Belarus tractor, just send us an email.
That was Miss Starley, yeah.
Well, there's actually been several of them. So
really?
Yeah, it'll be a first come, first serve.
Dehydrated cabbage is delicious. Yes. Okay, guys. I got to find where to shut something down.
You go over here first, right there.
Well, I mean, how do I get this off of there?
Just grab the top of it and pull it down.
That way. Okay. All right, guys.
All right, guys. We got to jump off of here, and we will probably see y'all. I got to shoot a video tomorrow. I shoot my porch times on Sundays usually, just in case y'all ever wonder. I do it early Sunday mornings because I have so much to do. That seems to be the only time the neighborhood's quiet enough to actually get anything done. So I probably will be shooting porch time in the morning. And be sure to listen this porch time.